if Savvy were to go belly up and it were to cease to exist, what would Gary's next plan of action be? What is Gary's backup? What's plan B?
Well, being in sales, you always have to have a plan B. And I was going to say, too, another aspect, since we're in the dark side, about business is when you make a mistake, you've got to own it right away.
And then they basically kind of like devalued them as not only a business owner, but also as a female business owner. And basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but basically saying that, as a woman, there are certain things that you might not understand that maybe that a male, business owner would. And it's like, what?
Was this in 2025?
This was in 2020. This was like this week.
Oh my!
This week, Gary.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. What is going on, everybody? Walter Hooper. Another episode, another installation of Marketing Minds Meet. This is the podcast where we talk about all things marketing, all things entrepreneurship, all things business leaders, business community, the journey that you've been on, and some of the struggles that you've gone through. So with that being said, I'm just going to get right into it. This individual that I have on the program today, this is actually someone I had the utmost pleasure of getting to connect with over the last couple of years. They were with Point Alarm System here in Grosse Pointe Woods. And I right away, like that, I just knew that this was he was one of the real ones in this community. That is the Grosse Pointe community, or as we call it, the bubble. And we have always had some of the best conversations. I could talk to this guy for hours on end, stand-up individual. But now they've left Point Alarm and they've gone on to a new opportunity here at the Knot, actually, for one of the members here that is on the top floor, Savvy Advertising Solutions, and they have taken up the position as a sales rep. So without further ado, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce the one and only Gari Kersten. Gary, how are you, sir?
How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. How are things?
Things are good. Yeah, as a nice little intro there. Left Point Alarm, which, big shout out to Tim Weldon and Jeff Judson. Great guys, good friends of mine. It was time to do something else, and I had met Tabitha Mendez at a bunch of chamber events, and the next thing I know, I'm sitting here at the Knot at Savvy, and I'm talking to you.
I know. Who would have thunk, right? So, Gary, first and foremost, for those, I know you kind of gave just a brief little intro about yourself, but tell us a little bit more about you, more specifically. So, you met Tabitha through the chamber, but
correct.
Let's talk about. Let's just get right into sales. Like, what was your journey in the sales field? What did that look like?
Well, I've always wanted to be in some facet form of sales. Loved advertising from early on, and when I first started out in college, there was inter-dormitory radio. I was Garrison K Monday nights, 8 to 10, spinning albums in the basement of the field house at Grand Valley State College back then. And it's kind of funny, I look back on that now. And there was only 3 dorms at the time. It's the only people who could listen to it. So we had about 5 or 6 people listening. And but I just remember albums all over the floor, on the console, just because you didn't have time to put them away. But it was that was kind of fun. I'd have like an old punk rock hour. I would do all sorts of stuff like that. And it really, that along with a lot of speech classes I had in college, that's the only class I could get an A in, was my speech classes. So I took 8 of them.
I love it.
Hey, know your strengths, right?
That's right.
So then, long story short, I moved to Chicago. I was a rep at a rep firm called Katz. They're based out of New York, but I made $13,400 a year as a rep in Chicago. I owned 2 suits at the time. I had a blue suit and a gray suit, and I would alter them every other day.
As you should.
So, but every job you got to take an experience from it. And to back up for a second, my first job in Chicago was a runner at the Mercantile Exchange for the currency pits. Had the mustard yellow smock and was just running orders. It's all electronic now, but that was kind of a crazy introduction to just being in a new city like Chicago and all that. Speed forward, I was an assistant, and then I became a media rep for about 30 years working. I did broadcast television. I did national cable. I did local radio here in town for iHeart, Clair Channel. I did Total Traffic Network across 7 stations at the time. No weeknights, no weekends, just morning, afternoon drive, 15-second traffic spots. So, and you can say a lot in 15 seconds, Walter.
I don't doubt that for 1 second.
Especially having to write some of my writing copy for some of my clients. You can cram a lot in 15 seconds. So I've always done that. My last stint in that world was gas station TV. We had about 30,000 pumps at the time, based out of New York, and they also have a Detroit office. That was kind of a crazy experience. I always liked when I had a media buyer who just said, Gary, I got to tell you, I absolutely hate gas station TV. And I said, Susan, that's awesome. I need you to go tell everyone you know how much you hate gas station TV, GSTV. And I don't know if she thought that was that funny, but I did. And and she did end up going with, and we did a buy with her and all that, but it was kind of funny. Just kind of taking my world experiences, and now I'm here with Savvy with Tabitha and Katie and Lauren, and love these guys. It's been a great experience so far.
Yeah, I gotta say, recapping all, you've had so many experiences that ultimately, it brought you here. Sure. To Tabitha, to Katie, to Lauren, really to the Knot and all that as well. And it's like, you look back on that, it's like, things happen for a reason.
100%.
But now you're here at Savvy, and how long have you been here working alongside Tabitha, Katie, and Lauren now?
It's just been a couple months, maybe 2-3 months now. So we're in the end of June. I started the end of March.
Okay.
So
cool.
And it's been great. These guys are absolutely wonderful. And if people aren't familiar, I know you've had Tabitha on before. We do full service agency, ad agency, but we do a lot of promotional products. So shirts, mugs, hats. You tell me what you need, Walter, and I'll get it for you.
Yeah.
So.
1,000%. I will say I have sent over some referrals your guys' way even before you started, and every person that I've referred over, they've been 1,000% satisfied with the product. So
fantastic.
They're doing something right. They're doing something right, clearly. So that's
it comes down to customer service.
Yeah,
treating people the way they want to. Karma is real.
Yeah,
100%.
We know it?
You treat people in a good way, it's going to come back to you.
Yeah. It's funny you mention that, because I heard a horror story not that long ago about someone local where they. Yeah, I'm not going to name any names,
sure,
because that's not my style. But this entity, this business, comes to find out they weren't treating their staff very well. They weren't being very nice to them, and through different forms of behavior and business practices, it's like. Now I'm hearing updates. It's like, okay, now it seems like things are kind of struggling now for them, and it's like, like you said, going back to the karma thing, like, you get back what you put in,
100%.
And if you put in, a shit environment, then that's gonna come back, and that's going to
every time.
Yeah.
Every time. And it's pretty easy to treat people with respect. And
Again, you would think.
You would think it's a pretty, yeah. I mean, we could go down a rabbit's hole here.
Yeah.
You know, the world is a little bit of a tense place right now. Can't we all just kind of get along and just, you know, let's be nice here, fellas and gals.
Yeah.
So,
folks.
Right. Let's just be nice. For crimini's sake.
I know. But hey, you know, that's another topic for another time.
Right.
When Gary comes back on the show. So Savvy and all that now, so you're here with them. You've been here with them for a few months.
Right.
What would you say now that we're getting into the marketing aspect of it, because it is Marketing Minds Meet? Since you've been here and what you've witnessed, what you've experienced being out there on the field, you know, trying to get people to buy products from you guys and apparel, what would you say is Savvy's biggest product, or I should say their best-selling product or products that you've noticed so far?
Well, what I've noticed so far, it depends on the client. You know, if you're a client having a huge golf outing, you know, hats. Who doesn't love a good hat? I mean, hey, I need a good hat. I got to keep this dome out of the sun, right? But, you know, golf events, things like that. So shirts, hats, Yeti mugs, things like that. And, you know, it's funny. Everybody loves their logo on a good shirt. I'm wearing the Savvy today. And everyone loves to see their logo on something. So I would say that, yeah, really kind of a golf shirt. But, you know, we've done jackets. You've seen all the stuff we have upstairs. I always tell people, give me an idea. Let me know what you're thinking, and we'll make it work. And 9 times out of 10, we can make it work for you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and to Gary's point too, I mean, when you go up and see their office, I mean, they just have like on the top of the ceilings, like and along the wall, they just have rows of hats and apparel, and these are all examples of what they can do.
And we do that for people, and we take them, you know, 3 or 4 examples, and we say, hey, we're gonna leave these 2 with you, and we're gonna take this one with us, so we have ours, so we can hang it on the wall, and it kind of gives us a daily reminder of that potential client or client. But yeah, you know, I really think with clients, it's give me an idea, and let's. You know, it's so cliche. Let's step out of the box, or let's spitball it. Let's throw it out there. And you know, I say to people a lot of times, let's you know, we can have a cup of coffee. Let's have a conversation on the phone. It's kind of funny how people really don't want to get together anymore. And I'm coming from a 30-year media background. Let's go to lunch, Walter. Let's go to dinner. Let's go to a Tigers game.
I'm down.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it doesn't. I'm noticing it doesn't happen like it used to.
Well, and you know, it's funny you mention that because, you know, so, you know, like my brother and Lauren, who's also works alongside with Gary here and the girls, they're both of the same generation, so the Gen Z generation. So that generation grew up with, and it's not a knock on this generation. We're just pointing out the differences in their culture and what they were brought up with. So they were always brought up with these put in front of them. They always had those in front of them.
Right.
So, you know, when you're used to that, you know, your form of communication, your form of interaction is different. And then when the pandemic hit, then it really kind of doubled down on that.
Excellent
because now,
point.
Now you're even more, you know, susceptible to, you know, just not leaving your computer screen, your phone screen, your tablet.
Right.
And I mean, I know a couple of people that are of that generation. Gary, they hate making phone calls. Like they absolutely hate, and that's such a foreign thing to me because like I always like growing up, like if I wanted to call and hang out with someone,
right,
you know, I'll be like, hey, Mrs. Smith, you know, is Alex there? You know, can Alex come on the phone, talk on the phone?
Like,
you know what I mean? And so I think now it's just So the segue
And heaven forbid you had to get out of the car, knock on the front door to say,
oh yeah,
is Al, now it's been forever. Even when my kids were growing up, text. All right, got to go. It's like, whoa, wait, who with who? Where are you going? Like, and you're right. It's a generational thing.
Right.
I think at times it's hard for people to even say good morning or, in the elevator. And that's where we're at. My son says to me all the time, Dad, why do you have to talk to everyone? I'm like, isn't that what you're supposed to do? No, I didn't get the memo on not having to talk to everybody. Now, granted, I grew up with my mom was a school teacher. My dad was a banker. My dad was a pretty mellow cat, but my mom was a school teacher. All she did was talk. And so that's what I do. I've been told I talk too much sometimes. But
that's why you're on here, because this is the perfect platform for you to do this. This is where I need to be,
right here, yes. Yes, I do need to know when to kind of shut up sometimes. But, as humans, as we want to connect with people. This is just my opinion. We want to talk to people. There's a lot of lonely people out there. And when you're just sitting at Walmart and and you look, hey, how you doing, and then that's when my son walks up and it's like, really, Dad? You really had to talk to him? It's like, he talked to me first. I didn't. Was I going to be rude and not say hello?
Yeah, right.
So yes, but it is a different world, and you just have to find the way to navigate it.
Right.
What used to work doesn't work as much now. So.
Yeah, and so that's a perfect segue into my next point here, and my next topic here is, so being that we're both entities in the marketing realm,
sure,
digital and non. So from what you have noticed so far, being with Savvy Advertising Solutions, what have you noticed has been Savvy's best marketing tools and resources to promote themselves? Has it been social media? Has it been email campaigns? Has it been door-to-door flyers? Has it been ads in the paper? And then where have you seen the weakest point of marketing resources utilized for Savvy?
Well, yes to all the above, in the sense of, we've got our support staff that every month reaches out, touches base. We do the email blast. We do all the traditional type stuff. But at the end of the day, after everything we just said, it's still making a phone call or stopping by, and it's a combination of. And I think Savvy does this really well. It's phone call, email, maybe a text, and you know what I'm saying. It's like just trying a little different, because just sending an email every day, or oh my God, or calling it's like, Walter, you got to stop. I know you're there. I know what you do. I have a classic story. My buddy in Chicago years ago wanted to work for HBO, so he went in, interviewed with the guy, and the guy's like, I don't have anything. He's like, just call me next month. He's like, okay. Called him next month. He's like, I got nothing. Call me next month. Called him every single month for 11 months. Wow. And on the 11th month, he said, you know what, John? I've got something. Come on in. Ended up working for him for about 10 years. So it's all how you do it, and you don't want to inundate it. I always say, be persistent. Don't be a pest. So
yeah, because see, that's such a fine line. Like there's that fine line.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, back in the day when I was calling on ad agencies and all that, I would try and shake it up. Earlier in this podcast, we talked about how people might not want to go to lunch or dinner anymore. I can remember going into Campbell Ewald Advertising, and I bought 4 cases of Faygo Red Pop. And I just went, this is the day where you could just roll in. And I got my dolly, and I'm passing out Red Pop and all that. And months down the line, people were like, oh, my God, it was so good looking, I didn't even want to drink it. So they had the Faygo Red Pop in a glass bottle sitting on their desk. And when they looked at it, that was Gary from Katz who brought it over. And that's, I didn't even have to tape a business card to it, but just, when I was trying.
It's the gesture. It's that going above and beyond.
Well, if everybody's going this way, go this way. I tell that to people all the time,
Yeah.
like, oh my God, how are you successful? There's no secret sauce here. If everyone's going this way, you might have to go this way just because, this might be, but go over here. If everybody wants blue, go with green.
Yeah. Well, and my thing, because I remember I was chatting with someone about this as well, because they do a lot of cold calling.
Sure.
And I always said, you'll 9.5 times out of 10, you will never see me pick up the phone and cold call. That is just not my style. My form of generating new leads, getting new business is getting out there, going to networking events.
Absolutely.
Or it's that referral from another colleague that
Correct.
thought of me, or they saw and honestly, I'll say too, in the last year and a half or so, my Instagram page, my business Instagram page, had a few messages come through that were serious inquiries about my service. I was like,
nice,
like it's working. So I guess that's, like you said, all the above for you guys, and you're kind of in an interesting spot here, because you're not just one niche specific thing.
Correct.
You do all
Correct.
kinds of different products and apparel. Unlike with me and what I do, like I'm strictly I'm video, audio production, podcasting, which goes into the same realm, SEO, and paid social media ad campaigns. That's it.
Right.
Like, but that's where I know where my strengths are, and like your guys' strengths too are, you have so many of them, like so
Right.
many things that you can offer to people with apparel and what have you.
It still comes down to relationship building. Now, I'm going to use the word, is it harder today? Maybe not harder. You just have to approach it in a different way. Cold calling, I think cold calling's dead. And I worked at a place where you had to make 100 calls a day. I'll tell you a quick story. I was recruiting in Chicago, and they had phone accounting. If you didn't make 100 phone calls a day, the next morning the guy who owned the company would walk up and put a ketchup bottle on your desk and say, hey, you have to catch up. Well, I'm doing 25 calls so after the second time he put that ketchup bottle on my desk, I was like, you put that ketchup bottle on my desk one more time, I'm going to quit. And so he comes out, he put in, and I was making numbers. I was putting up candidates. And so I quit, which wasn't really the smartest thing in the world, because my rent was $1,000 a month and all that. And on the train ride home, I had probably a little panic attack going, oh my God, what did I just do? But you know what? I didn't get that ketchup bottle on my desk again, Walt. I showed him, right? Right, exactly. I can do it in 25 or 50 calls. What is this 100? What?
See, this is where the corporate.
Correct. Correct.
I faced this when I was over at GM. Yeah, I get it.
Right.
I get it.
And unfortunately, they're still kind of working on that model. And I look at it like, wow, really? It's relationship building. Some of the best business I've ever done is when I don't talk business. It's like some of the best boating I've ever done is when I don't leave the dock, if you know what I mean. It's just like I would be sitting with my media buyers, and all of a sudden it's like, geez, Walter, we've been here for an hour. Can we talk about the market of Milwaukee, or can we talk about Chicago so I can expense this as a business lunch? They'd be like, all right, Gary, you're gonna make the buy, but you got to do this, and I'm not going to buy Super Bowl this year. And I'm like, okay, all right. But because we would just sit down, and it sounds so cliche sometimes.
Yeah.
But, but people come in and just want to, burp up like, oh, here's all my product. And it's like, whoa, shake my hand first. Say hello.
Yeah. It's funny you mention that, because there's another quick tale I have here that just recently happened. So, good friend and close colleague of mine, they had a one-on-one with someone that they met at a networking event, and yeah, you know what? It's my show. I might throw a little bit of under the bus-isms here.
Go for it.
So this person was a sales rep for Kroger, and they were like right off the bat, and this is just my because I got a phone call right after from the person that had this meeting with this rep.
Okay.
And they were like, that might have been probably the worst one-on-one I have ever had in my life.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, what happened? And they're like, well, right away, they just went right into their pitch.
Correct.
Not once did they ask me about what I did. I had to be the one to like interject and like put my 2 cents in there, what I did. And then they basically kind of like devalued them as not only a business owner, but also as a female business owner. And basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but basically saying that, as a woman, there are certain things that you might not understand that maybe that a male, business owner would. And it's like, what?
Was this in 2025?
This was in 2020. This was like this
Oh,
week. This
my.
past like this week, Gary.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just
was
like,
it something I said? It's wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, I kind of did like that. What?
Yeah.
Like what? And they're like, I know, and I was like, so what did you do?
I can't believe this story is true.
It is 1,000% true. And
wow.
I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, what the fuck is wrong with some people?
Right.
It's like, first off, I would have said, and here's what I would say. I said, I am not excusing their behavior and how they handled it.
Right.
What I will say, though, is I said, it would have been one thing if, yes, granted, how they handled it was really shitty. It was really nasty. He was a nasty, nasty man.
I did not like him.
But it would have been one thing. He said and did all what he did, and then been like, you know what? I don't think this is the right fit. I think maybe we should just part ways at this point.
Correct.
And nice to meet you. Whatever.
Well,
still would have been not the most. Because that's still shitty behavior, but at least they would have known to just this isn't
correct.
But the fact that they,
oh my gosh,
and here's the other thing, Gary. Not only were they asking them, they were trying to still get the sale, but the product that they were trying to pitch to them, it was like a $5,000 like ad thing for like one of their, I don't know, it was like on their carts or wherever, but basically placing an ad in a Kroger, and it's like, so you berate me. You belittle my experience as a business owner and I'm speaking, being in their shoes as a female business owner, and yet you have the gall to approach me and still and think that the idea, the hypothesis of asking me for a $5,000 ad campaign is on the table.
Walter, words cannot describe. There are no words that. First of all, that this story is even real in 2025 is amazing right there.
And you know what? And I think the thing is, and I said to this person afterwards, and I think now it probably rings true more than ever. I said, I think after this experience that you went through, I think it's now more important than ever for you to realize that even in the heat of it, it's okay to say no and be like, you know what? I don't think this is the right fit. I said I had a somewhat similar experience, not nearly as degrading as that, but I was like, I basically had to tell someone that was interested in what I did, but because I didn't like the owners, I didn't like how they practice their business, and I thought that if they're doing that to their own in-house employees, I can only imagine what they're going to do. To someone like me, that's
100%.
So I'm like, I said, I'm sorry, but I don't think this is the right fit right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more than happy to recommend somebody. And like, they got so mad at me, and it's like,
just
sorry.
answered your question.
Yeah,
right there.
Exactly. It's like, sorry, not sorry.
You walk away from that going, yes,
yeah.
I made the right decision there.
Absolutely. So speaking of things and not doing and what have you, and so I'm a Star Wars guy. I think you probably know that.
Yes.
for better or for worse, especially right now, what's going on with Disney, but that's another story for another time. So we are now entering the dark side portion of the show.
Oh, no.
So this is where we're
Is this where I get nervous?
No.
Is it what's going to happen here, Walter?
Yeah. So we're gonna get into some a little bit of hard truths, but nothing crazy.
Hit me.
So wild to say, but I believe we're just about halfway through the year already.
Okay.
It's June. We just celebrated the summer solstice.
Mm-hmm.
So far, for you and your journey with Savvy, what has been one of the biggest challenges that you faced up to date being on the sales team with Savvy?
Well, I think there is... boy, that's a great question. I think I've come to realize there's a lot more competition out there than I thought. There's a lot of companies, firms doing what we do. And I think it comes down to things like price. I think depending on the size of the deal and what you're trying to do you possibly not use, hey, Savvy, we'll eat the setup cost, or we'll eat the shipping, or, and I'm not saying I'm going to do that for everybody, if anybody watching this. So, it's trying to identify who your competition is and how you can do better. And I know that sounds, again, so simple but figure out who your competition is. Figure out who their biggest clients are and go after their clients, because they're going to come after mine. And it's a dog-eat-dog world. So it's trying to find a better way to make yourself stand out.
Absolutely. Yeah, and especially in today's market.
You used to be able to say a better way to skin the cat. Whoops.
Yeah.
Can't say that.
Can't
say that anymore.
More than one way to skin a cat. I still say it. I'm an elder. I'm approaching elder millennial.
Do you still use a lazy Susan in your house to spin around things for the food? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, boy. Now I'm old.
Yeah. No. I know what you're talking about.
Go to a good Chinese restaurant with the lazy Susan.
Yes.
I guess we can't say that anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, whoops. Even though my aunt's name is Susan. I love you, Aunt Susan. Okay. So, number 3.
Oh, my God. There's more. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
I told you. Okay. In an unforeseeable and very unlikely situation/circumstance where Savvy Advertising Solutions is no more, they go under, and now Gary has to think of another strategy, another way to make it through. If Savvy were to go belly up and it were to cease to exist, what would What would Gary's next plan of action be? What is Gary's backup? What's plan B?
Well, being in sales, you always have to have a plan B. And can I sound pompous for a minute?
Please do.
Oh, okay.
This is my show.
Okay.
This is, as I say to all my guests, this is a safe space. As the kids like to say, this is...
One thing my dad taught me was how to network. I have to give it to him. Quick background on my dad, same name as me. He worked for Detroit Bank and Trust, Comerica, and to keep the story short, he treated everybody exactly the same. So where we parked downtown in Capitol Park, Giles, who was a Jamaican guy, he managed the parking lot. Loved my dad. The janitors at the bank, loved my dad. The tellers, he treated everybody the same, and everybody loved him. My point here is I like to think I have a pretty strong network. If Savvy ended today, I could probably walk out. I've got a plan B, C, and D. The guys...
Really?
The guys at Point Alarm would probably take me back, not to sound pompous, but there's plenty of things that I could do. That's a great point, Walter. Especially being in sales, you're expendable, and you always got to have a plan B. And in advertising, I always did. I always had. It might not have been maybe not Starbucks, going to work at a Starbucks, but a buddy of mine who had a widget company or something, who I always had that if I had to, I could keep making money, and it might not be something I love. And that's why you constantly, and you don't network solely for that. But again, I go back to what my son said. Aren't you supposed to talk to everybody? I mean, aren't you? I mean, and you always have to be prepared. I was never a Boy Scout, but always be prepared, right? Mm-hmm. So, heaven forbid, Savvy's not going anywhere, Walter.
No, they're not.
Let's
going
hope
anywhere.
we don't need to do that.
No.
Jeez, stop.
I know. It was interesting because I don't know if you caught I think it was the last time Tabitha was on. I asked her that question, and she goes, "Well, I wouldn't do anything." She's like, "I always believe in Savvy." So that." And I said, "No, that's not. That's not.
Savvy's not going anywhere, Walter. Why would you say
I'm
that?"
I'm like, no. I'm like, let's play pretend.
Right.
She's like, I will always bet on myself. I will always, And I said, so basically, you would start from the ground up all over again. You would try it again.
Yep.
And she goes, absolutely. So I was like, it might not be Savvy Advertising Solutions. It'd be a different entity.
Sure.
But,
Solution Savvy.
Yeah, Solution Savvy LLC. There you go.
Just flip that around.
It's not quite as catchy, though. I don't know. It's, okay.
Well, do we have more dark side stuff?
Gary.
I'm exhausted from this dark side stuff.
Well, I know you are a music guy.
I am, yes.
So, are you familiar with the late, great Robert Johnson?
100%.
Okay, so you know the lore of his Crossroads story?
I don't, but you're going to tell it to me.
I sure am. So, long story short, the song, we all know this, we both know the song Crossroads, I know. Covered famously by Cream.
Of course.
So, the lore goes that for that song and behind it, and kind of like I said, the backstory, he was not known. A lot wasn't known about him. There's very little evidence of his existence, which is kind of creepy in and of itself.
They just didn't, and I said they just didn't write a lot of stuff down about him.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? There's not archives to go to on
right,
him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it was said that before, when he was starting, like he was really like making his rounds and like making it down there in the Delta, he really wasn't that great of a player. He was okay at best, but then one evening or one day, whatever the case may be, he's walking and he's got his guitar in hand.
Okay.
And he happens to stumble upon this crossroads, and he meets an individual that says, "Hey, you need your guitar tuned?" And he kind of goes, "Okay, sure." And he goes, "All right, I'll tune your guitar for you. And once I do that, you'll become one of the greatest guitarists that ever existed."
Who is this holy figure? Who?
So, yeah, right. So,
wow, I have not heard this.
Yeah, so he tunes the guitar, and then literally right after that, he ends up becoming one of the greatest guitarists of all time. He's playing things, and even to this day, as a guitar player myself, there are things that are recorded that he did that I cannot do. Like it is near impossible. Eric Clapton even did a documentary called Me and Mr. Johnson, and
I want it.
Yeah, it's
I didn't
great.
know that.
It's phenomenal. Okay. And basically, he kind of goes on this quest to learn all these Robert Johnson songs, and a lot of times, some of the songs he has to have a second guitar player with him because that's just how complicated they were.
Wow.
So, fast forward. So he's making his rounds. He is making the moves. He is it. He's it.
Sure.
Well, one night he plays a gig, and let's just say he liked to mingle with the female gender, of
They're
course.
so pretty, sure.
Yeah, they look wonderful. And so he's talking to this one. Well, comes to find out, she may have been with somebody else. And he goes to take a sip of his drink, and he keels over, and he is dead on the scene.
I did not know this story.
So the lore is that when he got his guitar tuned, it was the devil himself that said, I can tune your guitar for you, and you'll be the greatest guitarist, artist that ever lived, and you'll have a legacy. And he still to this day does. But the thing is the devil collects his pay in some way, shape, or form.
Sold his soul.
Sold his soul. So, Sir Gary, if the devil were to approach you and were to say, Gary Kersten, I could make you not only the best salesperson at Savvy Advertising Solutions, I could make you the greatest salesperson to have ever existed. You are going to have clients from all walks of life, all over the world, wanting to do business with just you.
Okay.
And you would be set for life. You would have nothing to worry about. You would be riding high. The only thing is, like I said, the devil collects his pay. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's what's going to be your life. It could be at the expense of loved ones, friends, family, whatever the case may be. But you would be set. Does Gary Kersten take the deal from the devil that the devil proposes?
No way. No way. If you're gonna say to me that to sell my soul that loved ones are gonna be affected by that, I'm good. I'll go be a street sweeper, or I'll clean up the garbage cans on Mack Avenue. I'm good.
All right.
How about that for an answer? Yeah.
No, that's a great answer.
I mean, if my loved ones would ever be even in the mix of something harmful happening to them, I'm good. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, no, very admirable, very admirable. I'm not surprised, but yes. So
and I think I told you this before, and again, not to brag, but I told you my brother-in-law writes for Star Wars.
No, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, he's on a team, and I think they might have finished up, but they were writing the next 7 years of the Star Wars story.
Oh my God!
And he was on a team of, I don't know, 15, 20 people, whatever. They Lucas Ranch, the whole 9 yards, going up there working on it, and kind of a big deal. So I knew you were just a little bit, yeah. So. Yeah, and I don't understand everything he does. He gives me a little highlights once, but I'm not smart enough to be at his level to really understand. I'm just a sales guy, right? If you need me to sell Star Wars, I can help you out there. We can come up with a plan for you, Walter. But yeah, pretty neat stuff. To digress for a second.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that is pretty neat. Mm-hmm. That is real neat. Well, congratulations, Sir Gary. We made it out of the dark side.
Oh, thank God. Making me a little nervous there, Walter. Jeez.
No. These are, like I said, these are very, very doable. So, no, and I ask these, just because, it's a contrast, right? Because I feel like some people just don't. They only highlight and showcase the good.
Right.
Like, oh, this is great. No, it's not all great. In order to get ahead and to get further ahead and do better for yourself, like you're gonna run into obstacles.
I like the challenge.
So
I like the challenge. And I was gonna say too, another aspect, since we're in the dark side, about business is when you make a mistake, you've got to own it right away. And I can't tell you. There was times. Again, I was, for example, when we would do our upfronts for General Motors, I had 9 markets, five different models each market. I had 45 orders that I was negotiating all at once, and mistakes happen. Sure, you don't want them to happen. You'd have a whole schedule. Like one of my TV stations would stop running a whole schedule. My media buyer would come back to me like, are you kidding me? Like, you were supposed to deliver so many points, and now what happened? I wasn't monitoring it like I was supposed to. And you got to own it right away and say, Walter, that was on me. And here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to do a makeup schedule. We're going to, own it. Own it, because anytime you try and backstroke from it or backpedal, people are going to see right through that, and your credibility is going to instantly go down.
Yeah. No, I've had to.
We've all made mistakes. You don't want to.
No.
And you hopefully want to correct part of it before you have to go to them to say you made a mistake.
Right.
Here's what happened. Here's what I did, and this is why. And they're going to appreciate that you owned it right away.
Right. And not even that, but even after, I call it eating crow.
Sure.
After you do that, then offer right away, hey, let me make it up to you. Let me do this and this for you.
Mm-hmm.
So then that way, we both don't walk away upset.
Right.
Because I want to be able to provide something to make up for that mistake. But also, most importantly, I want to make sure that the client feels like that they're getting taken care of and that they're getting something.
Correct.
After letting me know what went wrong.
Do you want me to tell you a good media story?
Please do.
So I was in radio, and I had my media buyer, who we had probably a 15-year relationship, to where we didn't even have to negotiate that much. So she calls me up. The client is Dearborn Federal Credit Union, DFCU. Got it? Good. Nice size order. Get it on all the stations, whole 9 yards. She calls me up one day, and she's like, oh, my God, did you hear the spot? And I said, well, yeah, my continuity person got it to the station. Well, they read it. Okay, Dearborn Federal Credit Union, DFCU. They read it as DCFU. I'm like, you are kidding me. She's like, and the client heard it. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. All right. I go, how many times did they do it? She goes, it is a very popular morning radio show in Detroit. I said, hang on, so I get up to continuity. We get it fixed. They get the feed to the station again. I'm like, we're good, right? Right. Good. They do it again.
Oh, jeez.
So I call up my buyer, and I said, Susan, what do you need me to do? Let me, I'll take you out to dinner. And she's like, I don't need to go. I go, I will call the client. This is on me, not you. Gare, you don't have to do that. Fix it. Make it right. I said, okay. Got up there. We got it fixed. I got her some bonus weight. That is probably one of my... I get nervous just talking about that right now.
Yeah.
Again, DCFU?
DCFU.
And every time I drive by it, there's one on the way to Greenfield Village. I see it on the corner of Michigan. I think it's Michigan Avenue. Yeah. And I see it every time, and I just... Oh my God!
PTSD.
I have to keep my eyes on the road.
Yeah, right.
But again, own it right away, and it's not something I did, but it's my client, it's on me, and I got to go upstairs, and it was a big deal. It was a lot of money. It was almost a 6-figure deal for me, but you know what?
Whoa.
Right, we got it fixed.
Good.
It could have gone either way.
Yeah. The fact
even with this great personality right here, it could have gone either way, and it didn't. But you got to own it, and you have to have an action plan to take care of it. And whatever, it worked out.
Absolutely. Yeah, so. that's a great story. But see, and see, I love the fact that you're like, this is just. I want to make it right. I want to make sure that that the client, because they paid a shit ton of money, a lot of money. So let's rectify this as best as we can.
Well, and let's not forget, I'm also making commission off of this deal.
So
that's right. I mean, it's important for all of us to make this. I mean, let's be honest.
Sure
here.
Is.
So right, and the 15-year relationship that I built with her, my buyer, I want.
Yeah.
everything. We want to get all the pieces back in order.
Absolutely.
So, and again,
Absolutely.
To say it again, it worked out. But that is PTSD. That's probably one of my biggest PTSD stories.
Well, you made it on the other side, and you know what?
Whoa.
Yeah. So good for you, Gary.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. So, with that being said, let's dive into a couple of fun questions here.
Okay.
Before we log off, and I have a lunch meeting with dear Katie.
Okay.
Well, our usual lunch thing.
Right.
So.
Right.
So, first fun question I have for you, Sir Gary. When you were not being the Banff sales rep for Savvy Advertising Solutions, and when you're not out there making the moves and getting those deals, what are some of Gary's favorite hobbies and activities in your downtime?
Well, I'm an avid boater. I have a podcast myself.
Okay, all right.
Can I do a cheap plug for
Please
it?
do.
It's BG's Broken Records. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on everything. It's my old roommate from college, and him and I do it. It's half hour. We do it on music. Our latest one's on Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. And we have
Rest in peace.
Oh, he
was genius.
Absolute genius.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I texted the latest installment to you.
Thank you. I will be sure to check that out.
I used to do a whole bunch of kayaking back in the day. That's kind of lagged since I got the boat. But really spending time with my family and just trying to be outdoors at all costs. That's my biggest thing. I know I've told you about it in the last 3 years. Big ice plunger. Got that in the backyard.
That's right. Yeah. You're the cold plunge. It's all about that cold plunge.
Got my trough out there in the backyard. I just got my chiller. And if you want to get rid of inflammation and make your brain feel great every day, I cannot recommend. And it's feeling good without having to take a pill. So
yeah,
and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Cannot recommend. And is it cold? Absolutely.
Well, on a day like today.
Right. Do you ever get used to it? Kinda. Not really, but you do.
They're just shocking your body
still
temperature. It's
brutally
fine.
cold.
It's fine.
But you get out of there and you feel like you can move mountains. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I remember I tried it once. Was with
gotta try more
another
than once,
another colleague of mine. I produce a show for him, and he has he got a cold plunge trough, and I went in there. I was kind of like on a day like today. It was like really hot, and like getting in there. I was like, for me, the biggest thing that really gets me is like my feet. My feet start to get like and that kind of freaks me out. And so I don't.
My hands. Like I have to keep my hands out. I can put them in kind of early, but I got to because my hands get really affected.
Yeah.
So yeah, hands, feet. It affects everyone differently.
Yeah. Other than that, like I was okay. You know, like for the most part. I mean, was it cold? Yeah, absolutely. But besides the feet, like it was what I mean. So.
Gets rid of brain fog. It gets you focused. It's. I cannot say enough good things about
it. Maybe I'll have to look at me inviting
have
myself.
Have to revisit.
Yeah, maybe Gary, you'll have to help me with that. So,
Sure.
One of the last questions I have for you. So you're a music guy, and I think this is so relevant, especially with some of our topics that we talked about today. What's on Gary's playlist currently? What's Gary spinning on the turntable? What CDs is he putting in the CD player? What's Gary listening to?
Excellent question. Well, our last two podcasts were on, as I said, Brian Wilson, Beach Boys, Sly Stone from Sly and the Family Stone, which he just passed away.
Yeah.
I'm kind of grooving on a new band called Camp, CAAMP.
Okay.
The Berries are big. It's funny. Cream, Eric Clapton, Rolling Stones. Been listening to them forever. My favorite band of all time is The Replacements. Paul Westerberg and Tommy Stinson and those guys. Last time they toured was 2015. The reason I like those guys is because they just didn't give a shit. I mean, kicked off a Saturday Night Live forever. These guys would get drunk and switch instruments. I saw them in Chicago do that at the Taste of Chicago. And so you're the drummer, you're going to come out and play lead guitar. You're the lead guitarist, you're going to play bass. And then it was sloppy and fun, but love those guys. That's rock and roll.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else is on the band. I was always a big fan of the band. I read
Robbie Robertson,
Levon Helms. I
yep.
read his book last year. Levon, the only American in the band. Everyone else was Canadian. Yeah. And Garth Hudson just died, the last guy from the band.
Oh, wow.
And if you want to pull up something really good, and it was probably 2 or 3 years ago, he went back to the Big Pink house in Woodstock. Mm-hmm. He was about 80 and went through it down the basement so that was really neat. So
awesome.
That's
sweet.
about it.
I love it, Sir
Again,
Gary.
the power of music, Walter.
1,000%.
It's unmeasurable.
Playing music myself and in bands, like I get it, man. Like
sure.
I've been hooked since I was a kid.
Yep.
So, last final thing I have for you here might be one of the most important questions. If people want to inquire about their promotional marketing needs, their apparel needs, what is the best way to reach out to Gary Kersten and Savvy Advertising Solutions? Their website? Do you have an email, phone number, social media? Now's the time to plug all of the things Savvy Advertising Solutions.
I'll make it simple. Email Gary, and I'm Gary with an I, Gari at savvyadvertising.com, SAVVY. Or my cell phone, 313-410-8823. And yes, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and all that, but those two things, Gary at savvyadvertising.com, 313-410-8823. Call me and call me often. So
perfect. Well, you're here first. Call him. I feel a Blondie song coming on. Well, Sir Gary, thank you so much for taking the time today.
This has been fun.
Yeah, I had a blast. I hope you did as well.
Yeah, this was great.
So I would love to have you back on the program as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, no, please, everybody, do yourselves a favor. If you need promo marketing material needs, you got to go through Gary and Savvy Advertising Solutions. They're going to take great care of you.
We are.
They are going to make sure that you have the best quality materials out there, the best quality brands out there, and the pricing is pretty decent.
We'll make it work.
I can't argue with that. So, but Sir Gary, thank you so much, and
thanks, buddy.
Thank you to everyone that's tuned in and watched this recent episode of Marketing Minds Meet. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can find all things Marketing Minds Solutions and digital marketing in general. You can find us on social media, WA Hooper Marketing, on Instagram and on Facebook, all the things. And with that being said, this has been another installation of Marketing Minds Meet, and we will see you on the next episode. I think that's a Dr. Dre song. So we'll catch you on the flip side, everybody. Have a good one.